Welcome to the Good News Flower Hour, people. I'm your host, Dave Easy. This week we look at some of the myths surrounding medical marijuana as New Jersey appears poised to become the 14th state in the union to allow doctors to prescribe Mary Jane to chronically ill patients. Still, old drug warrior habits die hard. The day before lawmakers in Trenton approved medical marijuana legislation, the New Jersey State Police, in conjunction with the National Guard, were conducting training flights with a Black Hawk helicopter on how to locate and bust marijuana growers.
Cheeky cheeks. Oh, naughty sneakies.
Now, to people like you and me, the greatest threat that legalization of marijuana presents to society is that someone might enjoy listening to pet sounds at twilight a little too much. Or laugh at a Will Ferrell movie a little too hard. But to the police/prison industrial complex, the legalization of marijuana in states like New Jersey could mean the loss of billions of dollars in drug war interdiction and incarceration funds. In 2007, 872,721 Americans were arrested for marijuana, accounting for a full 47.5% of all drug arrests that year. Of those charged with marijuana violations, approximately 89%, or 775,138 Americans, were charged with simple possession. As such, the legalization of medical marijuana presents a grave threat to the status quo of law enforcement and penal system budgets. And as a result, their supporters and proxies are often the loudest voices protesting any change in the legal status of marijuana. And when the facts do not support your cause, your only option is to disguise them in a fog of fear and disinformation. One of the most common myths parroted by opponents of medical marijuana is that dispensaries that dole out weed to patients are in fact crime magnets. This non-fact appears often in news stories about the issue, usually with little or no corroborating evidence. In fact, just last week, a story in the Philadelphia Inquirer concluded with this quote from a medical marijuana opponent. Quote, "The California experience shows clearly that there will be an increase in crime and an increase particularly in the areas in which there are dispensaries, and more municipalities in California are passing local laws prohibiting dispensing facilities in their community," unquote, says John Tamicki, executive director of something called the League of American Families. Now, the second half of this quote is in fact true. In the past year, nearly a half dozen California municipalities have voted to ban medical marijuana dispensaries for fear they would become crime magnets. We looked into this, and it turns out that the single source driving this fear of medical marijuana dispensaries is a white paper published by the California Police Chiefs Association. Now, expecting a fair and balanced report on the social impact of medical marijuana from a police chiefs association is a little like expecting a fair and balanced report on global warming from Exxon. But be that as it may, we read through this white paper to see for ourselves what all the hubbub was about. In a section marked Ancillary Crime, Murders, and Robberies, the report details 11 armed robberies and 5 murders at California medical marijuana dispensaries. Usually botched robberies wherein the victims attempted to resist or pulled guns on their robbers. Now, these stark accounts would give anyone pause, at least until they consider the following. In the 13 years that medical marijuana has been legal in California, there have been 37,364 murders and 929,623 robberies statewide that were not, repeat, not affiliated or associated with medical marijuana facilities. Or consider this interactive map created by the Sacramento Bee detailing the criminal activity surrounding a single liquor store for a period of 6 months in 2005. Or consider that the 1995 Honda Civic was the most stolen vehicle in 2007 according to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, but we have yet to see any news stories calling them crime magnets. Clearly, if you will pardon the pun, this oft-repeated notion that marijuana dispensaries are crime magnets is a case of the pot calling the kettle black.
You know it seems the more we talk about